This is Pat Walker at Mission Winners. We're doing a video here of the leading stocks in the leading groups. As you know, the market's been hit really hard. And what does that do? Well, it can cause upheaval in the groups. But there's still a maxim that stands true. It's a foundation, and it's true. Leading groups help produce leading stocks. So we focus on that. And a lot of people say, well, I need to change the rules. I got to start looking for stuff that's been beat up really bad. If that's your system or method, so be it. I found over 30 years, it's better to find the stocks that are in leading groups, especially if you consider this. If a stock has refused to fall when the market's bad, when the lid is taken off the pressure cooker, that stock could boil for you. I know it sounds like a corny phrase, but it's the truth. Well, I want to show you right here. Here are stocks. These are the leading groups right here. Autos, jewelry, internet, jewelry, software. These are the leading groups, all right? And some of these have maintained a high degree of staying strong. But let's take it a step further. We run screens to find some of the leading stocks in those groups. We really don't run a lot of fundamentals with them, but we're looking for decent technicals, decent accumulation distribution, and they're within like 20% of 52-week highs. By the way, I will tell you this, no low price stocks. We don't mess with that, okay? We want leaders. We want leaders where big money will go. So let's continue onwards and see what we have. Here are the leading groups, by the way, right there. So let's move on here, and I'll share this with you also, just for what it's worth. Taking a look, you can say, well, Patrick, as far as those groups are concerned, are there any groups that have stayed up strong? And I'll just tell you this right here, okay? Just for what it's worth, as far as leading groups are concerned, auto manufacturers are still strong. Okay, retail internet's moved up a little bit, all right? Retail jewelry, all right, it's hanging in tight. Computer software, desktop, hanging in there. Overall, the groups are hanging in. Biotech, it's been a fairly steady group. Biotech can be risky though, okay? Just tell you that. But here's the leading groups. Now I'm going to drag this over here, out of the way, and we're going to take a look at the stocks, just so that you can see. And I'll also tell you this. There aren't a lot of stocks in the group. And you can say, well, why not? Let's be objective. The market's gotten ripped. I mean, absolutely ripped. So by default, there aren't a lot of stocks that are doing that well. It's just common sense. So here's the first stock, all right, that we're coming across in here is VipShop. VipShop Holdings. It's group number 2, retail internet. You take a look at it and you say, well, okay, I can see this. Relative strength is 98, leading the stock into new high ground. That's good to see. Ran up, pulls back. Is there anything really special with it? Well, it's got an accumulation distribution of A. That's good. Group rank is 99. The question we have to ask ourselves, is there a clean entry here? Well, I'll show you something. Here's the weekly. Not a bad weekly, is that? Let's do something here. Let's refresh this 6 months. There we go. Now we got a better chart. So we can see what's going on. So you can see it's hanging in there. It's hanging in there. Went up on good volume, fell on less volume, gaps down and closes up versus the previous week close, but on less volume. Let's go back to the daily. We don't have many stocks on the list. I'll just tell you that, okay? So we can take a little time here. Here's the daily. In a really crummy market, and let's cut to the chase, folks. The last couple of days, the market's been pretty rough, hasn't it? Looking at this closed up, and that's good to see. What would be an entry on this? A couple of constraints. Number 1, the market is acting okay. Number 2, the stock is acting okay. You got to have both things. If this takes out these highs here at 1528, that could be a buy. But I will tell you, you are really forcing it because the market is in awful shape. So if you do buy this, I just encourage you, be careful. I can't stress that enough. The next stock on the list is Zoom, which some VIPs own. And it's hanging in there. Hit new highs. Zoom video, with the advent of what's going on with the pretty much systematic shutdown of major portions of the country and of the world, this company allows for video conferencing. They're a leader in their field. And the stock's hanging in there. The stock's got an earnings per share of 84. Relative strength's 98, leading the stock in a new high ground, which is wonderful. When we bought this before, earnings were up 800%, which is really nice to see. I'll show you something here. Right there is where we bought it before. And it's made a good move. So what do we do with it? You could, if you want, buy this taking out Friday's highs. What's the negative? It's a little bit extended across tops. So if you do buy, go smaller. I can't stress that enough. A+ accumulation distribution. Great numbers last quarter, too, up 275%. Here's the next stock on the list. Teladoc Health, okay? Moving on up, this could be related to the COVID-19 situation that's going on, and that there's on-demand doctors, etc. needed related to that. Stock's hanging in there. Notice something though. The stock gaps up. There's the open. You see that bar right there? The stock gaps up, runs up, closes in the bottom fourth of its range on the day. So what does that tell you? It was met with selling pressure up here. And it's understandable in light of what's going on in the markets. Just ask yourself, will you see this chart pattern in any book saying, well, this is what you want to look for to buy? And the answer is no, you won't. And if you do, if it's in a book, I'd probably get rid of that book, just for what it's worth. Maybe that sounds cute, but you know what I'm saying. So now here's the next one. Kroger. Kroger, it's in a top group, retail supermarket, runs up, but now look what it does. Good volume on these bars, but notice how it closed in the bottom half of its range on this bar, bottom third of its range on this bar. And with this crummy market, they take it right back down on a pickup in volume. That's what you're fighting. I ran the screen and I was really shocked because I loosened it, to tell you the truth. I loosened it and it came up with 4 stocks, and that's it. That's indicative of the type of market that we're in. Can it improve? Yes. I run my screens every day. Why? Because things change. How long does it? It doesn't take very long to run the screens, by the way. All right. It helps us find winners. I was in the beta test group for the original Daily Graphs Online product. I love it. MarketSmith. I love it. It's great for screening and it allows me. By the way, I don't work for them. I don't get anything from them. No discounts. I pay regular retail price just like everybody else, which is fine with me. But it allows us to find super stocks. And that's what I'm after. I'm looking for stocks that can make great moves. Anyway, I hope you're all having a good weekend. I hope you're intact, that you're not getting killed in this environment. One of the things we teach is you've got to have rules to get in, and you've got to have rules and discipline to get out, and rules and discipline to stay out, not force it. There's times that the market can be open. It's kind of like a store. Just because the door is open doesn't mean you need to walk in and buy stuff. Wait till it's good for you and you know the setups. So anyway, it's things that we really try to reinforce. I hope you're all having a good, safe weekend. Please take care of yourselves wherever you are, anywhere in the world. Please take care of yourselves. And maybe this sounds corny, but I will say this. Please keep your distance from others and wash your hands. And also take it a step further. If you have a cell phone, be very careful handling your cell phone, shaking people's hands, and doing something so simple as rubbing your eyes afterwards, because it can be transmitted through your eyes. All right? And I'm not trying to be paranoid. I'm just trying to point out ways methods that will keep you safe, not just in the market, but with health. So thank you all very much.